We're on our lunch date at the lunchroom right now, getting my flowers from the last spring market we'll be able to go to at the flower market here, or I should say the farmer's market. Flower market's gonna be in Taiwan. And we just got some delicious pastries and we're about to get some really yummy lunch.
This smells quite good.
I know, doesn't it? There's the strawberry angel cake, brownies, and then this is the raspberry glazed donut. So we're gonna be splitting these, except for the brownie. I've been told that's Chips's brownie. Yes, I'm getting nods. It smells like amazing coconut cocoa from over here. I'm hungry. We have butternut squash bisque and a TLT and pad thai, and it looks delicious. This is the first time I've ever had the pad thai from the lunchroom, so we're gonna try it out and see how it is. But I was in the mood for it after having those delicious dumplings last night. So it turns out that the pad thai is a little bit too spicy for me, and because I'm such a spice wimp, even though I try, I just can't handle it. And so Chips was teaching me a new phrase to say, buyao sha. No? Buyao for hot?
No, buyao means don't want.
Okay, don't want is buyao. La? Okay, buyao la, and that's going to be don't want spicy, don't want hot. And so I'm gonna have to really make sure I remember that for when we are in Taiwan, because my spice tolerance is just so amazingly low. But he's offered to share the pad thai with me, and I'm gonna eat the other half of the sandwich now. Pad thai was way too spicy for me, but Chips really loved it, and we talked so much about things to expect for eating in Taiwan. It's gonna be really fun because there's so much vegan food just around the corner in Taiwan, so I'm really looking forward to that. And this strawberry angel food cake is absolutely delicious. The donut's really good? Mm-hmm. Okay, you know how I feel about chocolate.
It's raspberry.
Oh, but you do know how I feel about fruits, that's true. Oh, I like the sprinkles. I didn't know I liked sprinkles.
No, there's actually stuff in the dough.
Oh my gosh. A chocolate chunk in there.
And the raspberry? Isn't that good?
That was a raspberry chunk? That was good. But I'm loyal to the angel fruit cake. Look how pretty. Oh, there's so many cute little ones.
Like this, can we put it in the big bag for you?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, look at these guys. Oh, I love these kind. Look at all the succulents. Wow. Some of the columbines to mix in, or some of the chives, or some of the daisies. Those are so pretty. Columbines! Look, you guys! These are one of my favorite flowers, and I was so excited to find them. One of my favorite vendors at the farmer's market was actually there today. She's a really sweet woman who runs a booth with her daughter. They have an organic farm, and they have eggs and honey and things like that set up most times. Usually they have baked goods and a lot of jams. She loves making jam in the autumn, like late summer and autumn, when there's been more things blooming and more harvests to snag. And I was so excited to see her, and she was one of only 2 vendors that I spotted today who were selling bouquets of flowers, though there were so many flowers at the farmer's market because it is planting season, and so many people were trying to sell me flowers, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm leaving for a week for Taiwan, but I would totally buy these if I could. And they were like, wow, that's so cool, maybe you have someone who could water them? And I was like, well, I'm not sure. So it was just really fun to like just talk with them, and everybody kept talking about my earrings, which was really interesting. Oh, and just to find so many beautiful flowers was so fun. Chips and I had a great time on our little date day, and he thinks that these columbines are really cool. I got 2 bouquets. I got this columbine bouquet right here that I'll set down for just a moment. And then I also got this bouquet right over here of sweet peas. There's some lupin. I can't remember what else she said were in here. Some of you guys will probably recognize some of these flowers. But doesn't that just look like spring? And it smells so good, and it's so uncommon for me to find lupine in a bouquet at the market. So I thought that this one just looked like the colors of spring, and it just looked beautiful and cheerful, and I wanted to bring it home. So we have our 2 bouquets, my last flowers for a while from the Michigan farmers markets. Though Chips has promised me I can get lots and lots of flowers in Taiwan and put them all around our apartment in Taiwan. The place that we'll be staying at is actually known for being very plant oriented. There's lots of plants, and there's even a patio with beautiful little bamboo plot. I don't think it's going to be like super fancy because it's a pretty small apartment. It's basically going to be the size of our upstairs and all open, so I'm going to have to get used to recording with Chips like right next to me the whole time. But it's gonna be awesome, and I'll be able to bring home tons of cut flowers from the night market, so I'm really looking forward to that. And there's even a flower and jade market that runs, I think, twice a week, and I plan on going to that a lot. And I even hope that I can find some cute little jade figures that I'll be able to give away to people or set up somehow to share with you guys, because I think that would be really fun. So today's date went really nicely. We had a great time eating out. We had a great time bringing home some gorgeous flowers. And there's so much to do to get ready for Taiwan. We're sitting there, and it's finally gotten to the point where we're looking at the clock and we're going, in 7 days from exactly now, where will we be? And 7 days from exactly right now, we'll be in the Detroit airport getting ready to fly across the world to Taiwan. That's really hard for me to wrap my head around. I was like, darling, do we have to be there super early? Do we have to make sure that we're like there hours and hours early? Do we have to go through customs? And he laughed and told me customs is what you go through when you come back into the country. And I didn't know that. I thought they like grilled you both ways, because I hear that's what they do when you like go across borders. I guess maybe you have to go through customs when you get into Taiwan then. I'm beginning to put all the pieces together in my head. So apparently we're just there normal time. You go through security like normal, which for me means getting patted down on my back because my hair is so long it freaks the little scanny thing out. And then you just stand in line just like if we were going anywhere else. And then you get on the plane, and we will be flying from Detroit to Seoul, and then from Seoul into Taipei, and then we're getting on a private car that the people who run our little apartment are going to send to pick us up with, and we'll be at our new home for 2.5 months. 2.5 months is a long time, so that's gonna be so fun. But there's a lot to do before we go, and I think that's part of the reason I feel so overwhelmed, is that it's my first time out of the country internationally, but I also have to move basically like my business with me. So I still have a few pieces that I need for setting up my recording hardware while I'm in Taiwan that have to come in, and I'm working on the posters. Oh my gosh, we've sold 101 posters. I did not think we would do that many, and I am blown away. They're almost sold out again, and oh, you guys heard last night how I feel about the poster thing. I'm still pretty emotional about it, and now I'm trying to like gently prompt myself, okay Seri, you can be emotional about it, but you've got work to do. And I have a lot of work to do, so I'll just kind of show you guys a few of the little trinket surprises I've been gathering. But this, on the top of a giant pile, are bags of the poster tubes. They're kind of expensive. Actually, they're pretty expensive. Chips was a little alarmed to hear how expensive they were, but they're really, really durable, and I just wanted to get, I didn't want to go with the cheapest ones that looked kind of like a paper towel tube. I wanted to go with really sturdy ones, because a lot of these are actually going overseas. A ton of people from Ireland. That's been very interesting to me, because Ireland is the #1 international place. Ireland and Australia are the 2 international places that most of the posters are going to, and I've never been to Ireland or Australia, and now it's just like, whoa, if I go there, there would be people who may have heard of me, like as a person, not just like, ooh, heard of me, not like fame or anything, just there's a thought that someone may have occasionally in another country that involves me, and that's really interesting to think about. I guess I'm a slow bloomer when it comes to realizing the full scope of the way YouTube works or something. So there's that. I have to package up the posters today. I think those are all the tubes I need. There's a lot of them, but I need to get the next poster signed and rolled very carefully up and gently put into the tubes and print out the labels for 101 posters. And Thankfully, the post office will come and pick up those from our house, it turns out, so I'm so grateful for that. But it's still going to be kind of interesting to print out 101 labels and very carefully tape them on and make sure that they're all good, and I am insistent on doing my best to write like little thank you notes on the sides of the posters with my silver Sharpie. So we'll have to see how that goes. That's job number one. Job number two is actually making videos. We still have to make videos for the main channel all the way through the next week and then some. I want to try to record about 2 weeks ahead. That's really going to push me. That's really going to push me. But I want to record about 2 weeks out so that I'll have at least a few days where I can just adjust to being in another country. And I know I'm going to be vlogging a lot when I get there because it's also a great way to sort of channel your nervousness about new experiences and to just open yourself up to admitting, I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. I don't know how to pay for my food. I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that vlogging will help me kind of work through the like, oh, these are a lot of butterflies in my stomach. Am I about to faint sort of feeling, and just make it excitement and something new to share with you guys. So I want to try to record enough videos for the main channel, which means I really need to get to work on that to cover the rest of this month, and not all in one day, mind you, but the rest of this month, and then at least a few days for June, because we'll be landing and getting into Taiwan June 1st. So I want to make sure that I at least have that time covered for at least a few days, and that means edging into the summer in space territory, which is going to be super interesting. We're going to be doing Slime Rancher and Spore and Subnautica, so I need to pull up those games and brush them off and figure out how to get those ready so that everything will roll out real neatly, because I've been taking the last, well, kind of the month, because it's been just utterly chaotic, sort of very easy and very slow, and it's been really good for me. And I'm not going to push too hard, or push really, if this is just what continues to help me sort of heal and jump up from the slump that I kind of burned and tumbled myself out into, which I'll talk about again someday in a ramble vlog. But like any form of subtle depression, the more days that go by after you sort of feel like you plunked up out of it, the more it feels like a really weird dream. And yet I have gaps in my joy journal, and I have gaps in my eagerness to create that I know it happened, but maybe I should try to talk about it sometime when I'm not quite so busy, because I worry the longer time will go on, the less I'll be able to think about it and put it into words, because I don't remember it very well, and the more I might miss out on some warning signs for next time. So moral of that ramble is that I'm going to not push myself too hard, but I do need to make sure that there's videos up for the main channel and try to edge into the summer in space for a little bit into June so that I can have some buffer time to adjust to a 12-hour flip to my schedule. It is about 2:30 p.m. here, which means it is about 2:30 a.m. in Taiwan right now. So I'm gonna have to adjust to that. But that's another thing I need to do. Posters, main channel, equipment that I need to make sure so I can record everything while I'm in Taiwan. I'm still going to be recording for both the main and the vlog channel. It's my job. I definitely need to do it. A lot of people, a ton of people, like a humbling amount of people have been asking me to set up a Patreon before I go, and I think that would be really fun, because then one of the things I want to have on my Patreon is being able to send out a postcard. Oh, and there's a woodpecker outside. Okay, focus, Seri. A postcard every month, and I think it'd be really fun if I could send some from Taiwan. So I want to get that set up so that I can find them and send them from Taiwan for the 2 or 3 months that we'll be there to people in the Patreon through the world, and that'd be so cool. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. So that's another thing to set up. I just have to do the basics. Even though there's all this business fun stuff going around, there's still the basic stuff of like the dishes need done. I have to do laundry. I have to double check with my birdie babysitter that everything's a-okay. Today we had window cleaners and I had to pop all the screens off every window in the house off, and so you can see how it can kind of start spiraling out of control. But I'm going to take some deep breaths, and I've been doing things like, instead of saying, you have so much to do, you don't have time to go on that date with Chips and get flowers, I've been making myself do it. And I really, really feel good about it, because it's what gives you the heart energy to get up and then to create more. And I don't mean that in the like, oh, get up and like slave away thing. Just it gives you the healthy energy and stamina that you need to be able just to go, okay, now it's time to do this, and I feel like I can accomplish it in a healthy way, and it feels really good. All right, so last couple of things as I get rambling. On the note of the columbines, I'm actually so excited to have these guys because I've been trying something new for the Etsy shop, and it's gonna unfortunately have to be a craft that I leave behind and cannot come back to until I return back from Taiwan into the States. But this autumn, what you guys are gonna start seeing are things like this, where I start making some of my very own flower jewelry. This is actually some moss. I don't know if it'll ever focus on it, but this is actually some really cool moss. It probably won't because it's like, I know you're hiding back there, Seri. Up, 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 there we go. Just for a second, just for a second. There we go. This is some cool moss. It's just a prototype, very first one I ever really tried to pull off. And then I've got like a fun little flower storm prototype thing. Didn't quite work out the way I was going for, but it was going to become a necklace. Just this was super early prototypes. This is actually a bleeding heart that I found on the side of the road, already fallen off, that I could play with. The very, very first piece I ever tried to make with resin art, to make flower art. But that's one of the things I want to put on our Etsy in the future, is to gather flowers sustainably, safely, and legally from places that I travel and places that I go, like the flowers from Taiwan, and press them or preserve them somehow and then turn them into jewelry. And then that way I can show people, like, these are the permanent memories of those places that we went together, of that beautiful flower market where I bought this bouquet of flowers in Taiwan, or Florida, or who knows where else I'll ever go back home, or the bouquet that Chips brought me for Valentine's. Just, you know, romantic things like that, fun things. Or it could be just really cool, like, bit of moss that I got from the side of a tree in a forest somewhere, and to be able to turn it into a lasting memory, a lasting piece of art, and make it really nice. This is just really rough sketches of like my first attempts ever of using resin, and then give it to you guys. And then you won't just have this pretty piece of art, it'll be a vlog where it was that hike, we talked about this thing, we saw that baby blue jay or something like that, and now you could have that piece preserved forever and turned into something that you could add so much of your own meaning to. And that's the kind of stuff I want to do for the Etsy, and I plan on doing lots of that. But I don't think I can take my resin with me to Thailand because it's kind of combustible, and I don't think they want that on the plane. And I don't know if I'd be able to find any in a language that would understand the very, very specific mixing directions while we're in Thailand. But I'm gonna go to craft shops and I'm gonna try to find little crafts and things that I can make and do in between all the adventuring and the recording for the main channel, which is still the like 99.9, even with the posters, % profit that takes care of my family. And then the other thing on the note of the columbines and about the flowers is that I have a whole bunch of columbine leaves that I plucked off the bouquet, and I'm going to press these now so that I can use them, because it occurred to me it might be really fun to use them as backdrops for other flowers in the resin pieces. Because I think, yeah, look how much more that pops now, instead of having that so much nicer. It's really nice alone, but I would think that having a nice green backdrop would actually make it much more dramatic. So I'm going to press green flowers to use as a little backdrop, and I think that's going to be really fun. So I'm going to press those and get them ready and see them in 3.5 months or something like that, 2.5, 3 months, to be able to turn them into jewelry to offer to some of you guys. Oh, and then the last thing before I stop my rambling and dive into work for the day is I finally figured out what the frame that my sister sent me was for. Pens. So my sister and I each got pedometers, and we're on fitness journeys that she's gotten a huge head start over me for, because I haven't really been having time to go on enough walks lately. I should make it, but things are just a little tight because we're about to leave the country. So she has a wrist one because she likes to like see her heartbeat and everything like that. I just have this little one that I keep in my pocket, and it works very, very well. We tested it out a few times to make sure the counting is accurate, but every time we hit 100,000 steps, then we pick 2 pens. One sister, like if my sister reaches 100,000 steps, then she picks one pen and I pick one pen for her. If I reach 100,000 steps, then I pick one pen and she picks one pen for me. And then we send each other the pens and then we put them on our pen board. So she made a pen board for us. And I actually have the, oh, where did I put my backpack? I have some really cool pens I'll show you guys later from our first round of doing that. And then she sent me this extra pen just as a little sister treat. It's a little succulent, isn't it so cute? And I'm gonna keep it on the pen board. I took the glass out so I can just pop it on and off really quickly and then put my pens on my backpacks. But pens are another thing that out of the blue I'm really getting into. Hint, hint for that Etsy shop. So there's a lot of projects going on. I will stop rambling now. I'm excited that I got to show you guys kind of the beginning prototypes of some of the things I'm working on. And I've got posters to roll and ship. I've got niche to record and a lot of other things to work on. I've got laundry to do and it's gonna be really busy, but I'm really excited to share these adventures with you guys.